Looking at fonts on the front end, you can see that this script loaded as expected, but then if I look in the back end, in this editor, I've got this like not cute fallback font. Basically, this is happening because the script font is not loading. And even if you were to try and activate the font on your personal computer, it will not pull in because I have this font installed on my computer, and even though it exists, it will not load here. So the bad news is that we're kind of stuck with this until it gets fixed. I'll talk about a couple workarounds, but I know it looks really bad in some places like this, where it's like giant here on the back end because it's using this other font, but then if we look at it on the front end, it looks pretty good. So that's just happening because the font can't load in the editor, and the font size, like the physical size of this script, is so much smaller than the average font that we had to set it to like this huge font size, and that's why then it's giant when any like average font is actually used. So when you're in the editor, you won't be able to see the script font that you're used to seeing on the front end. I know it's going to make editing a little bit hard, but I just did a whole bunch of digging in, and it looks like this has been talked about and worked on a lot recently. Unfortunately, it hasn't made, there's not a fix right now for it, but one is coming. So what you can do to get it working is deactivate some plugins. Unfortunately, you have to deactivate the two plugins that fix it are plugins that you need to edit the site. The first one is the Gutenberg plugin. This is being used because we're using some experimental features, and so it's got this regression in the editor. And if you deactivate this, you'd be able to see the script font, but then you wouldn't be able to set up some of the layouts that we have that we really need. So I wouldn't deactivate this one. Unfortunately, that means the one we need to deactivate is Yoast SEO. This will remove meta boxes, which is the fix, temporary fix for getting fonts enabled in the editor. So if I deactivate Yoast SEO, and then I come back in here and refresh, then we're actually going to see the script font. So the good news is this is a staging site, and we sort of don't need Yoast SEO on a lot of these pages. The bad news is if you wanted to add the FAQ block through Yoast, you would have to re-enable the plugin to be able to insert that, and then you could fill it out, and then you could deactivate again, and the block will still exist there. You just won't be able to see it when the plugin's inactive. So it is pretty hacky, but if you do need to see these actual script fonts in order to manage the design, then deactivating Yoast is probably your best bet. So hopefully this will actually get resolved, but I couldn't figure out what version this would be in. It's definitely not released yet because we're still seeing it.